Today we're going to go through a more advanced tutorial how to set up your trading account, not just the APIs. And so once you have the API set up, you'll have this option to activate or deactivate 3 commas. If you want the auto trader to be trading for you once you have your API set up, this will need to be active. If it is deactivated, you can see the signals on our channels, but they will not be processed through the auto trader. Here you have the BTC per signal amount option to change that, and the USD or the tether amount that you can change, which is a new feature, which is great that we have. Basically just click on it. I'll change it back to 100. 3 comma settings, and there you have it. And then you can also change the leverage if you do future tradings. This will be the amount that is used for spot trading on tether signals, and also for future trading this will be the amount used per signal, if it's possible or if it's available on a futures trade. That's if you have futures, your order set up like this. I prefer to use futures if possible, and then it will default to Binance, just a regular spot trade. If it's not available, then KuCoin. So going back, let's see. You can change the leverage. Let's stop right here for a moment. We've had some questions come up in the past with people getting errors that their trades aren't going through. Well, it usually is because they are using a small amount, or their target setups are low and they're doing what is considered a dust trade. So I will share this link also, and what you'll be able to do, you'll be able to see this exactly how it is. You'll be able to edit the values in light blue. This is the minimum amount of BTC that can be used for a trade with 3 commas, and this is for tether. $10 is the minimum amount. So let's say if you want to trade with the minimum amount, as you can see, all this is in red. It's signaling to you that this isn't going to go through. So it's signaling to you, if it's in red, basically that will not go through, because the 50% of the target that you're setting would be half of this amount, and so you need at least a minimum. We'll do like 2. So that could go through, but you'd have to at least have your target prices at 50% or more on your trade. So you could have like a target 1 at 50% and our target 2 at 50% or our target 5 at 50%. If you were to raise this up, you can play around with the numbers. Let's go 3. As you can see, you can use a 40% range and above. You can also change these numbers around here if you want to. So that's 35% and above would work. I'm not sure if 31 won't, 32 won't, 33 won't, 34 would. So as you can see, let's do another test. That would work also. So if you're to use 0.002 BTC, you might get an error if you use a 5% target price, because that's right on the minimum amount. So with USD, it's basically the same thing. You can change the amount per signal. If you're to use $75 per signal, you'd have to have your target prices at 15% or higher. If you're to do 100 per signal, 5 wouldn't work. Let's keep that in order. But 10% would be right on the minimum amount, and 15% and above would work. So you can play around with this. You can only edit what's in light blue again. Like if you try to edit something else, you'll get a problem. So we do that so everyone else can enjoy and use this if you need help doing the math. So let's go back to the next part, is setting up TradingView. If you want to do trades using the TradingView platform, this is very nice. It's a nice feature. There's another video tutorial how to do this, but for this to work, you will need a paid prescription for TradingView, so you can use the web hookup feature. And let's see, there's another tutorial on this, how to set it up, so I won't go into depth on this. And this is an optional thing, you don't have to do it. It's just if you want to, and if you like using TradingView to see the charts and set up your trades there, you can do that. Okay, target price, you can change your values. So basically what this is saying is that on target price 1, let's get an example of this. On this trade. On target price 1, you can set it to sell 20% or whatever percent you want of your trade. If you sell 100% of your position, you would make a 3% earning on that trade. If you weren't to sell anything on target price 1, you'd have to put a 0. And if you wanted to sell on target price 2, let's say you sold 50%, you would sell 50% of your position, and you would make 7 on whatever you invested. You'd make 7.65% at 50% of your position, and then you could distribute the other percentages out there. And if you have your percentages distributed, and when this target closes, let's say target 5 hits and it closes, and you only have 20% at target 5, you'll see on 3 commas that your total won't really be 23% earnings, because it's going to be the average of the size of the position that you sold on each of the targets. Basically, if you're to sell 100% of your position at target 5, you would make 23%. So let's go back to Rebecca. So how this is set up is basically it's just order, like the first one is target price 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, target 5. So my setup was 20, comma, that's target price 1, target price 2, I don't take anything, target price 3, I take 30, I think. Oops. Let's check that out. 30, yep. Target price 4, I take 30, target price 5, I take 20. Okay, so let's just check out my settings, and that is how it's set up correctly. Okay, take trailing profit. So 3 commas has a web page that can show you that in depth, so I won't explain it here, but go to their website and you can see how that functions. Basically, you can change that. I'm actually going to change this to 1.5%. Change 3. And this one you'll actually, okay, so that's updated right there. So change by offset, this option will do the following. If you have your change by set offset at 0%, it would have to touch 3.149 US dollars in Tether to buy in. If you were to have a 1%, let's just do the math for this. 3.149 times a 1% difference. It could buy anywhere within the margin of $3.18. So it gives that leeway if the market didn't quite touch down on the buy signal. This is good sometimes to give you the option to buy in still if it doesn't touch fully on the buy-in price. Ever since the beginning, we've always had this at 1%. Now you can change it. I think 2% is the max, but you know, if you don't want to change it, just leave it at 1% or less is my recommendation, and play around with it and find out for yourself. So the stop loss method, mine moves up after it reaches target price 1, or after it reaches the first target price. I mean, if you don't have a target price 1, if you sell your coins at the second target price, it will move up to the buy-in after it hits that target price. Trailing stop loss, there's more information regarding how that works on the 3 commas website. And then there's also the option to use the stop loss from the signal. And so if you were to just use that option, use the stop loss as a signal, it would, if it was to hit $2.99, it would hit the stop loss that the signal provides. And so just looking at it here, if we buy in here, if I hit target price 1 and I set it to the option move the target the stop loss after hitting the first target, my stop loss would move from this amount to my buy-in price, and so I'd make whatever 3% on whatever percentage of the position I sold if it was to go back down. So hope that makes sense. Let's go further. Stop loss, timeout seconds. Okay, so I have mine set to 0, but basically what this is you can change the amount of time you want to elapse before closing a signal if it hits the stop loss. So let's go back to this example. If it was to hit the stop loss, and if you were to have the stop loss timeout option set up for like a minute, 60 seconds or more, and if it just hit that for a few seconds and bounced right back off and went straight up, it wouldn't close the position. And so it could be a good option to use if you feel comfortable using it. Once again, it's not necessary you have to use it. It's just there if you like using the timed out feature. And it could also be a bad feature, because if it was to hit the stop loss and they have like a timeout for a minute, and like the market was just to, or 5 minutes or whatever, if the market was just to completely dump during that time, I mean, you could, instead of hitting a stop loss at this amount, if it was to just continue going down during that minute or a time that you have set out, you could have a stop loss that maybe could hit at 8%, 20% if the market was to dump during that time. So let's see, I believe that we've already went through the exchange setups. And so we've already went through the exchange setups that and the API tutorials. We've added the Kraken exchange with our setups, and so it basically follows the same mechanism of creating APIs and sharing them with 3 commas and having your 3 comma API shared with Rebecca. And that's about it. Hopefully this video tutorial has given you greater insight of how to use all the options that we provide with our trading platform at Coincidental Trading. We wish you the best and a prosperous future. Happy trading.